Sure, but those are the numbers. Ooh, not much between them.
Yeah, both guys comfortably there coming in on the weight. They have talked about facing Barton at 145, but they both said, look, I'm focused on this fight. Double the wins exactly for Antun Račić.
So, 5 FNC championship rounds. Both these fighters are known to go the distance comfortably. They're, however, great friends outside of the cage, which is one of those matchups that you really don't want to see anybody lose. I'd hate to see Barrio give up the belt. He's worked so hard to get here to do it. He's a spectacular player. He pulls rabbits out of hats on a regular. I mean, you know, he's got a direct line to Mary when it comes to calling in those Hail Marys, and let's see how this plays out.
Both guys wrestle boxers, and both very capable.
They'll always be cautious. No one's going to want to open up. This is going to be a very come into my parlour, said the spider to the fly bout. They're going to try and lure each other in and spring traps, and they're both very capable of it. This is the hunter versus the hunter. No one here in this cage is prey tonight, I'm telling you.
And we haven't been privy to those conversations, which were very cordial, like you've mentioned, but I wonder if there's a bet on who's going to shoot first.
So even Francisco Barrio, and I mentioned body shape, he's always said that his is not representative and it serves him to deceive his opponents. So what we're seeing is nature at work here. We're seeing a stick instinct that you know, mirrors a branch that he's on. He's very deceptive. You look at Račić, he looks cut, he looks in prime shape, prime condition, but Barrio is exactly the same. So, you know, he is the champion, he is defending. That strap is not going to want to leave his mantelpiece here tonight. And he looks ungainly as well, Barrio, but don't let any of that deceive you. He is tough, he's smart, he's sharp, and he is skilled up the wazoo, even though it might not be as easy on the eye as you'd expect for a champion.
Yeah, he's so comfortable in the pocket, like you said, and even his footwork. It's easy to kind of say boxing and wrestling exist in isolation, but he works his footwork so well together. Even though he's shifting his feet and then actually finishing with the left hand, it's nice. But Račić looks very powerful too, Will.
Absolutely, and Račić slightly lighter by 5 kilos in fact, and he's going to use that whipping motion of bringing those overhand shots in to bring the power. There he does it just again. He comes over the top and whips it in, but Barrio's got strengths of his own, and he can box and he can hurt. But Račić on fire here tonight. Opening round, Račić bringing the heat, showing great boxing skills. He's improved immensely since he was bantamweight champion at KSW.
Agreed. I have to say, I felt like last time at 155 it seemed to naturally suit him. I'm liking the overhand right now, Will. That seems to be a hallmark of the game plan, especially because Barrio is dropping sometimes his lead arm.
But Barrio is incredibly durable. I mean, you know, got a chin like Mount Rushmore. He takes these shots. Sometimes I've seen him on the back end of some punches and you think, right, this is all over. And then all of a sudden, he pulls that win from nowhere. He is just incredibly skillful at this game. And as I say, visually deceiving.
Yeah, his cardio, his chin.
So they're both settling in. They've had a look-see, tested. Račić set out his stall. We know that the power is going to be raised from swinging shots, but so far so good. High level of boxing skill here, and Barrio doing very well to keep his hands up and defend. Barrio, though, is the one that's slightly pushing the pace here, trying to draw Račić in. Račić working on the counter. Of course, the UFD gym in Düsseldorf, home to some great champions, Erko Yun, Roberto Soldic. Račić here, some great fighters coming out of that roster, dominating the German MMA scene at the moment, and the Djokovic brothers working away there, making their team players outstanding. Barrio, of course, out of top team. He's almost a top team MMA product.
Barrio's doing a good job of trying to establish a jab here. And what I'm liking from Račić is overcoming that reach deficit. He's dipping his head, he's sometimes leaning his head and pulling back a little bit. A lot of movement. Something to try to get Barrio to bite, which hasn't been easy. I'd love to see more of that, more kicks. He's got to kind of complicate the issue a little bit more.
So the pace evened out. It's a championship bout. It's got to go for 5. No one wants to burn too quickly. 10-second clap up. Račić the first to introduce a kick into what was a bout that was ultimately devoid of any leg work in that sense. But first round out of the way, they've both had a look-see. I don't think anyone's really made an impact that much that would affect the scoring. So fair to say it was even.
Yeah, very close fight. Very close round for sure. Some good looping punches landed by Račić and some good straight punches landed by Barrio. Maybe Račić landing some of the more meaningful, impactful punches, which are going to score higher. But then again, there were a lot that didn't really land cleanly. Like Barrio is so adept at being able to roll with stuff. There we go. That was one of the better ones. That's that whipping overhand right. Really tough to deal with that.
It comes in under a defensive, heads down, attacking position and throws those big overhand shots. And he takes the roundness out of them by coming in directly like that. So, yeah, that's a trait and one of the winning weapons in the armory for Račić. We go to 2 of this championship bout. Antun Račić fights blue. Francisco Barrio fights red. Barrio from Argentina, as I said initially, and made his home in Croatia and his family here, and in fact part of his name. Oh, great combination, right, oh, that left found the target, rocked Račić back. Barrio's upped his game here, and he's come to put pressure. Maybe that extra weight was what was needed behind that shot, but Barrio looking like a very, very complete and aggressive boxer.
Excellent counter punch in there from Barrio. 2-3-2, 2 again, drops him.
Down he goes, that was a knockdown, that wasn't a stumble, and Račić now in a world of pain.
Barrio's got to get busy here. He wants to advance position. Don't settle, don't hang out. Do damage and get out of that half guard.
Yep. Quick's the word, fast has got to be the action.
Barrio was thinking about going head and arm choke. Nice defense there from Račić. It's crazy the kind of experience both these guys have.
So in that top position, Barrio really advantaged himself nicely. He's taken the pace up. That crack with the left hand did the business. Now Račić having to defend. I don't think that, although he's used to this position, I don't think the weight differential is going to help Račić here. 5 kilos, that's a lot at that weight division. You know, if you look at it overall against that weight, that's a lot. You know, it may not look like big numbers, but it is on aggregate. So in that position on the ground there, Račić having to defend off his back and Barrio not giving up. 3 minutes left to work, and they both know the mat really well. I mean, you know, Barrio knows every corner of that, as indeed does Račić. I've seen Račić here before. This is where he lives, it's his office, he's defending, he knows what he's got to do, he's got to get up, and that's what he's going to try and do, but he's not going to be slow in thought enough to give Barrio the excuse to take his back.
Barrio's doing a great job of just keeping heavy over this half guard position, threatening the head and arm here. Oh, he can maybe actually tighten this thing up. Use it to pass. Račić has only been submitted once in nearly 10 years. That was by Jakub Vikwac. His submission defense is great, but this is not good.
Vikwac, of course, former KSW champion, on his way to the UFC now. He was highly skilled and didn't have the power or strength. But look at this, he's got a choke on.
Gonna go head and arm triangle, tighter, tighter, tighter. He could do it, he's just gotta walk the clock and settle his weight here, Will.
Got the crank on, and he's never been submitted, but he's in a unbelievable position. Look at that, the champion Barrio taps him out. Oh my goodness gracious me, Antun Račić tapped out. Chris, it's unheard of.
Outstanding performance, a championship level winning performance tonight from Francisco Barrio. Goes out there, he usually attacks the back. Typically we see him go out there, expose the back to get the RNC, but strictly speaking, that's his first arm triangle in Pro MMA, Will.
Orchestrated magnificently. Forensic in execution. The bandwidth of Barrio is unbelievable. He, in the second round, to defeat a champion of the ranking and status of Račić, that left hand caused problems. Beautiful little check hook, and Barrio just took advantage.
Yeah, great timing from Barrio to see that outside round kick, crash him, hit him with the right, run through and take him down and set this arm triangle up. It took a couple of attempts. It took him about a minute and a half to finish that choke. Insane. But his pressure, I mean, people talk about grappling with this guy. Apparently Darko Stosic can't even get up when he's on top.
Really?
That's the truth.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, this guy, it's a lesson in skill and intelligence versus strength and aggression. Barrio has got all the other stuff, but he's got those two factors. He's got the it factor. Well, Greco-Roman wrestler, and you know what? I love a smiler. I've always, listen, I'm great pals with Antun Račić. We both are,
yes.
And we're great friends with Francisco Barrio. And it's a shame someone has to lose, but it's great that the champions won. This is the result.
3 minutes and 2 seconds completed. Your winner, and still the minus 70 kilogram lightweight FNC world champion, Francisco CROATA Barrio!
Yeah, I have to say, trying to get that belt off of Barrio would be like trying to get a chunk of tuna out of a great white's mouth. It really is going to be as difficult as that. There is no way it's going to be given up, or you're going to lose something in the attempt. And so there you have it. Oh, the champ absolutely overjoyed with that, and just incredible performance there. And tonight Antun Račić was dragged along on someone else's joyride, and that joyride was Francisco Barrio. You just look at the pedigree there. Pan American Championships, multiple silver and bronze medalist, high-level Greco-Roman wrestler, almost made it to the 2012 Olympics. You look at him and he just looks like a bloke. I tell you now, you saw his performance, and that will rethink anything that you thought about conditioning, about grappling, about boxing, about durability.
Once upon a time, he used to lead tours around Zagreb. Can you imagine this guy as your tour guide, Will?
Can you imagine upsetting him?
Absolutely. Can you imagine not tipping?
You look at Barrio, and it's likely possibility, not endless probability. He really is almost a surefire thing. And that defeat tonight for Račić proves it to me, because Račić is high level. As I say, former bantamweight KSW champion for years. He was unassailable.
Po mojoj nekoj objektivnoj ocjeni mislim da je ovo tvoja pobjeda karijere s obzirom na sve što je Antun Račić napravio. Čestitke od srca, molim vas još jedan aplauz.
Pa ništa, evo, jako sretan, evo svi me pocijenili uvijek i evo ja mislim da sam sad pobjedio jednu legendu Balkana i da sam ja postao sad legenda Balkana, među legendama.
Ja mislim da si ti već legenda neko vrijeme, čovjek s najviše FNC pobjeda, evo sada i obranom titule. Kako je to izgledalo iznutra? Nimalo laka prva runda, Račić je pogađao dobro, ali ti si u drugoj jednostavno ubacio višu brzinu.
Pa eto, nisam se borio 5 godina bio i to mi je žao što nisam, možda bi sad bio negdje, imao i 40 mečeva i nešto, ali evo, Forgi mi je dignuo karijeru iz nule i ja sam vjeran FNC-u do kraja. Imam 8-0 i ja mislim da sad nadalje mi da se mogu boksat, pa mogu neki bare knuckle sa Vasom, sa Želvom, bilo kim.
Jel to znači da je to ili ideš dalje? Misliš što se tiče MMA-a?
A ne znam, ali ja čekam onog Bartona. Trebam skiju na 6-6. I ako mi to bude sad već u karijeri do 6-6, ja ću ići do 6-6 i teško jer treba puno skijat, jer sam ja debel, nisam mišića ko Račić. Ali ja mi da ako ja bojim Bartona, onda sam najbolji. Ali evo, imam jedno obećanje. Ja sam rekao, i to javno, da ću pustiti pojas do 70 kila. Nemam više protiv koga branit, nemam ništa, ja mi da trebam ići dole po starim dečkima da se boje po pojas. Ovim Mladija Bojkoviću i Janičiću, ako će se boriti dobro, ne znam još, ako će se boriti, sam im rekao da ću im dati pojas, ali mi svaki treba 10%. I to je to.
10% od čega?
Pa išao rekao Bojkoviću Janiću, ja vam ostavljam pojas, dečki, uživajte, ali 10% vaših zarade ide meni.
Panči, čestitke, još jednom čestitke naravno i Antunu Račiću. Nadamo se da ćemo te vidjeti što prije naravno u kavezu. Još nešto za kraj.
Pa Račić, to je istinska legenda ovog sporta. To je čovjek koji je prvak KSV-a, koji je nama svima je čast što je uopće došao u FNC. Znači meni kad se svojim Račićem, znači to je čovjek koji je KSV prvak. Ja sam sad povedio KSV prvaka, to je brutalan od čovjeka. I to je to, sretan sam jako, evo. Jako sam sretan.
Uživaj u pobjedi, sretni smo zbog tebe. Dame i gospodo, zaista legenda FNC-a, Francisco CROATA Barrio!